Look at this. This is still smoldering, but it is threatening to rain. Right here, I've probably told you a couple of times before, this is the spot right here. This is just kind of a trail, a logging trail where they took the skidder through here. It looks like it's all nice and clear. It's got some grass growing here, but I think right here's where he's going to put his travel trailer. It's fairly level if you put it in this orientation here. So I think what the plan is, he'll pull in here. I got to move a little bit of this brush, it looks like. Just scoot it over a little bit so he can bring that up in here and drive through here and pull down in there, and then back the trailer up right here and drop it right there. So I would say somewhere about right here would be probably his front door. This would be the view looking out the front door of his trailer. So yeah, lots of firewood out here, guys, lots of firewood. And some of these trees, I don't know if they'd be very good for sawing. That's actually why they left them here. They didn't, the loggers didn't take them for a reason. I mean, some of them they need to leave, and some of them they leave because they're hollow or whatever. You can go up to them with an axe or something and hit it, which is, you know, sounding it is what you call it. But yeah, you always want to sound a tree before you start cutting it down. You want to know if it's rotten in the middle, you know, hollow or whatever. Maybe look at, you know, walk around it and look at it and see if it has like bark inclusion, like that tree right there and this one here. All right, so this one here, you see there's a dead limb up there, and you know that thing's gonna be hollow or rotted all the way down through the middle of it. Same thing with that great big one way back there. You can see some hollow knots in it. It's probably hollow in the middle. It's not a good saw log. That's why they leave those, because they're still growing, and they're basically a seed tree. This one right here, you can see right there's a big hollow knot in it, and then down below in the trunk it's kind of bulged out, and you can see some bark inclusion, a little crack in it. You know that thing is hollow as can be right there. Very weak tree, not something you even want to mess with on cutting down. It'll probably stand another 20-30 years. It'll drop acorns and, you know, plant more trees, right? But that's kind of why they leave them. They don't have any use for them, and it's pretty dangerous to cut down. So these big ones right here, I wouldn't even fool with those. This one right here is actually a little too big probably to put on my mill. Not something I want to mess with. I know he said before in some of his videos that he's got plenty of trees out here that he could have me come out with the sawmill and mill up, and he'd have enough lumber to build a cabin or whatever. Maybe, but most likely not. I know there's some trees that they cut down, some logs down this way on some other people's property that might be an okay saw log. You're not going to get very good grade lumber out of it. So I mean, that's why it was left here. They took the highest grade logs out of here and left everything else. Most of what you see down on the ground, that's all firewood. All of this stuff is just firewood. Those are slash piles. That is you know, well, it's pulpwood. It's what if pulpwood was paying very good and the mill was close by, they would probably haul it off and take it to a pulpwood mill that basically turns it into mulch, you know, chips and stuff, and turns it into stuff to make plywood out of. So not something they're going to use this stuff for. This stuff, they just leave it in the forest, and you know, 10-20 years later it's turned back into dirt and feeding the forest again. So not very feasible to come in here and cut trees down and mill them. You know, if he was just to spend a couple $1,000s and buy like a Harbor Freight mill, he could get it set up out here, and he could, you know, cut down a few trees, some smaller ones, and turn those into lumber. But I don't know, for me to come out here and try to log this and mill it, I don't think it'd be really, I don't think it'd be something good to do, really, honestly. The trees, I mean, there's no pines that I can see, and if you're going to be building, you really kind of want pine. to build with. It's a little lighter. You can build with oak. Sycamore would be nice. It looks like they pretty much took all of the sycamore and any other kind of wood. They took a lot of all the good white oaks. Red oak, they pretty much left it alone because, yeah, there's not much use for it. If they can't make a tie beam out of it, you know, a railroad tie out of it, they're probably not gonna mess with it. So that's why all this stuff is on the ground, slash piles. What I'd do is I'd come in here, I'd clean up all this slash pile stuff and maybe get a a chainsaw mill, a good chainsaw like a 3120 or something XP Husqvarna with like a, I don't know, 36 or 48 inch bar and a Alaskan chainsaw mill would probably be something good for him out here, because there are some trees he could cut down and actually just mill them up where they are. That's probably the best thing he could do out here. I know it's very time consuming to use a mill like that, but honestly I think that's what he'd be best off doing, is just getting a decent, maybe a used good sized chainsaw and a chainsaw mill and doing that. That way you don't need all the logging equipment. You just need a chainsaw. You fall it and you mill it right where it's at and carry the boards out. I think that'd be the most feasible for him. And you know, then he would have a chainsaw mill for about the price of what it would cost to have me come out here with my mill 2.5 hours away. I would love to come out here with my mill, but honestly I just don't see it. I don't see the size of straight trees that is needed. There are some good ones up this way, okay, but the thing is, all the work you got to do to get through all these stumps with my pickup and my log arch trailer, it really wouldn't make sense. I would spend a week up here just trying to get logs down here to where I would have my mill. And let's just take a walk up here, up on his property a little bit. I see a log up there that I want to look at that the loggers left behind. I'm getting thirsty. I didn't bring any water up here with me. It was threatening to rain and it's kind of cleared out. Look at this. It's not as dark as it was, so the storm's moved to the east a little bit from us. But anyways, let's walk up here. It only sprinkled on me a little bit, so I was able to get some stuff done. I need to come up here with the chainsaw and kind of cut some of this stuff up. Let's see. Let's take a look at this. Looks like a big white oak log. I got to watch out for snakes because it's warmed up a little bit. It's not, doesn't look terrible. Oh, there it is. That's why they didn't take that. They cut it off right here. They took whatever else was left of it. It was right here. They left this because it's hollow. That's not a very good saw log. Now, I'm not saying you can't get some lumber out of this, because you definitely can. But that is not something that a big mill wants, and you got major checking and stuff in it. You could, if you had a chainsaw mill, you could mill that up and make something out of it, get some lumber out of it. Look at this. We got one, here's a tree. Right there's not bad. Looks like a little white oak. Not terrible. That's probably about a 10-inch diameter. That's what you'd call that. Then you got this one right over here, right in the middle here. That's going to be hollow most of the way down. That thing's been, they've done some logging or something before, or a tree or something fell and broke a limb off and it just rotted down through that tree. That's what's happened. That's what happens a lot of these. Let's walk up this way a little bit. This one right here, this will make a nice white oak one day. It's too small to cut down and use for anything right now. Oh, look at that. This one's hung up. See, he's got to watch that. That right there could get blowed over pretty much any time. Here's one they pushed over, laying on the ground. That'd make good firewood. But see, if he can come in here and make a nice little trail where you can get up in the woods with a log arch trailer and a winch on it, you know, then you might be able to do something. Look at this. Well, this is just stupid. Somebody come in here and they cut this and left it. So they started cutting into this tree and it probably started pouring sap out, and they said, oh crap, it's all hollow, right? And so they left it. And now it's got a big old split in it. That's a very dangerous tree right there. very dangerous. That wind will come up one day, it's gonna break that off, it's gonna fall. Let's see, trying to get my bearings here. I see a sign over there. I think the roadway's over that way. We're still walking up in the back of his property. His property goes all the way back to a tree line, the end of the tree line back here. And then I can see the orange right over there. Right over there is his property line. So it comes right up through here. We're kind of headed towards the corner of his property. Well, he's got a nice little mound right here. He's got some rocks. Nice little mound of rocks and everything right here. Boy, this looks like a good place to build your tiny home, man. Kind of up on a little hill back in here. Quite a ways off the road. It's got some good rocks in here. Everything's knocked down. Very level. Really nice spot right here, man. This right here is just, this is it. Look at this. I need to show him this tomorrow. I need to bring him up here and say, all right, you got to come up here because you're going to want to move your cabin further off the road back up here eventually. He's got some stumps and stuff he can be taken care of and, you know, burn them out or whatever over time. Lots and lots of firewood up here to clean up. You got the road kind of cutting through over that way. So he's still not, if he comes back up in here, he's still not real far off the road. This looks like a nice little area right here. I'm liking this. Good little hunting area too. I've seen plenty of deer sign out here. Deer tracks and whatnot. It looks like they've come through here and logged this before, because some of this stuff, like that right there, looks like it's considerably older. I can hear that thunder over there. Can you hear it? Maybe if I shut up. I don't know that he's even walked this far back in here. Let's see, here's another stump log. And I just about guarantee when we get to the other side of it here, it's probably hollow. Oh, it's not. It sounds hollow though. It dang sure does. Oh, it's hollow on this end. Well, no, that's not. It is punky. So that probably wouldn't be a very good saw log. He's got some decent sized trees back here. Some squirrely looking trees too. Boy, they high stumped that one, didn't they? They cut it up high. Wonder why they cut, oh, it's a split. That's why they done that. Two trunk. Well, this property goes way back. With the drone, it didn't look like it was that far back. But, I mean, it is 10.02 acres. That log or tree right there don't look bad. Looks like red oak though. It looks like white oak leaves, I think. Yeah, those look like white oak leaves. Nice little cedar. Yeah, they took everything that was 10 inches. Okay, I see over there, there's the clearing, so over that direction is where his land ends. See, they fell that one, that oak over there, it's hollow. This one right here's got a big old hole in the bottom. Like most of the big enough, you know, the trees that are big enough to put on a mill and saw them up, that, you know, might make a good saw log that they've left. A lot of them are just like this right here. Got big old holes in them. They're rotten. The whole inside of that thing is rotten, and that's a squirrel house right there. Now this one here, it don't look bad. Not from this angle. We're not too far off the road. I can actually see the curve of the road right over there. I think we're actually getting close to the end of his property. Yeah, this right here is not a bad one. It's a leaner, so The problem with the leaners is when you start sawing those, there's a lot of tension and stress in them, and it releases as you're sawing it, and you get really curvy and bowed boards. Now this one right here, you can see they cut it there and there. After they fell it, and it's, you know, it's got this, the pith is rotted out in it. They cut it here, which this right here actually don't look like a bad log. That's a good saw log. They just didn't get it. Well, no, they plunge cut here and they said that one was no good. So the skidder guy, he just left this one. He was like, don't need it. But yeah, that one right there might be a good saw log if he can grab it. If he can get back here with his pickup and get it, you know, drug down wherever, whatever. Or if he gets like an Alaskan chainsaw mill. Well, I don't know. See, if you get an Alaskan chainsaw mill, at least you have a good chainsaw, right? And you can get a couple different size bars for your chainsaw. And he has a chainsaw. It's just it's like a Poland or something like that, or Craftsman, I don't know. It's a kind of a cheaper brand chainsaw. It's not something that you really, I don't know, it's not like a high quality chainsaw. It's not something you want to use for a chainsaw mill. And look at this. Here is a white oak, and that's a good log right there. That's a good long, fairly straight white oak log. They cut it off. There was nothing wrong with it. See, I mean, that's a good saw log right there. He can come back here without any other equipment. Pretty much all he needs is a chainsaw mill, and he could come in here, take a cant hook and roll this over, get it out away from this cedar right here, and he could mill that up into some lumber with a chainsaw mill. He could make him some timbers or something out of it. Let's walk on back in here a little bit, or whatever. I'm gonna go over this way so I don't end up going off of his property onto someone else's, because I don't know where his marker is. I've not seen it back here. It should be over here somewhere, I think, if my bearings are correct. Man, there is a lot of firewood down out here, a lot of it. But I had taken the drone up and seen like the overhead, you know, view of all this out here, and so I'm wanting to come back here and find the back of his property, which I believe goes back here to the clearing. That right there, that's a nice tree right there. This one here's not too bad. It's a little curvy. There's another one, but it's terrible. Look at those. You see those holes in it? I think probably rotted halfway down it. They got him a good log out of that. And some of these, you know, you just let them grow another 10-20 years or whatever, and they might be big enough to mill. Now this right here, we're getting to the very back of his property here. Should be a fence back here. Look at that big old tree. Big old stump. See, this is the branches of a big white oak they cut down. All right, so there's a marker right there. That could be, yeah, that's the boundary for the back of the property. I don't think that's a corner marker. Look at that. And they got that big white oak that was right there. Look at that thing. Couple old dead ones out here. So here's the fence line. That's the neighboring property. Some nice land over there, some pasture. I mean, this place has got potential. They've got several markers right there, so I'm wondering if that's where maybe a couple properties converge or something. I mean, that could actually be, I might actually not even be on his land right now. I'm pretty sure I am. I'm gonna have to look at the plot map. That's a big old tree, but it's got squirrel holes up there. And I'm gonna come back here by this pin, and I'm going to look on my GPS and see where I'm at. I'm gonna drop a pin. All right, so, all right, I don't want to show you guys what lots these are or anything. I want to keep that anonymous. So here's the the marker between two of his lots. All right, so apparently over there I was on the other property. So I'm going to get on my maps here. And then right here, I'm gonna stand right here where this pin is. I'm gonna let this thing see where I'm at. I'm gonna zoom in. Well, it's moving around. Drop the pin, save it. Now I'm going to label. All right, so if I look at the, let me find the plot map, which I can't share with you guys, so sorry. All right, so marker, the other side of, for his marker, I was where I was walking wasn't even on his property. So all right, I've got to go that direction quite a ways. So all of this right here is his property. There's the pin right there. All right, so we follow the tree line, and now we're on his property. I was actually over on the neighboring lot, and this is pretty nice right here. So that little mound that I was standing on, that I was like, hey, this would be a great spot for him to put a cabin or something, actually wasn't on his property, or may not have been on his property. It's kind of borderline right there. I'll have to go back over there once I get all these pins marked on my maps. I can go back to that spot and see if it's actually on his property. But fall, fall time of year is a great time to come out and walk your property and find your pins and everything. Look at this cedar, kind of splits off. That's kind of cool. That'd be a nice little cedar. I think you can get a Harbor Freight sawmill for, I think it's something like $2,000 or something. It's not terribly expensive. And if you get a chainsaw mill, by the time you pay for your chainsaw, your bar, your chains, and the Alaskan sawmill setup, you're probably going to be somewhere around $2,000 into that. This is a nice little area. It's fairly cleared out. There's a nice little cedar. You can get a little bit out of that. I'd let it keep growing though. It's not really that big. Now this has all been logged, and it's not, I mean, it's not terrible. That over there is, of course, the neighboring property on the other side of that fence. There's a big log down right there. You know it's no good if they left it behind. I mean, of course they do end up leaving logs behind, right? They're going to leave some behind by accident, but not usually. Usually they might look at it and say, well, that's not a high grade log, so they're not even going to mess with it, right? This one right here, it's got a big old bow in it, which actually they didn't even cut this down. This thing broke off, so it was hollow in the middle. And it fell down on the fence, and they've come through and repaired the fence. That actually kind of looks like electric fence. I don't see any barbs on it. Really nice properties out here. And this all slopes off, of course. And I'm pretty sure his property goes all the way down to the power line row down there, which is that clearing on down there. Here's another tree, a bunch of limbs knocked off of it. A lot of sap staining going down the side of it. I don't know if that's an elm or what it is. Look at this little stick bug. I don't like stick bugs. I don't like them at all. Well, I haven't heard from him yet today. Let me look and see what time it is, because he should be getting there in about an hour. It's 12 o'clock. I figured he'd be there by 1. But anyways, we'll walk on down this way. Let me look at that plot map again and make sure, because yeah, his marker will be all the way down right close to that that power line row that's way down here. I guess I'll walk on down here so I can mark it with my phone, and then we'll walk up the power line row. But look at this. Look what these loggers done. They face cut this tree and left it. Let's take a look at it and see if we can figure out why they left it. I would say because I see rot in it. Probably that right there. Well, it's curved. They started cutting into it, and it's this pretty old cut right here. You see where it's growed around. Somebody started to cut it down, and they decided better of it. I mean, look at how that thing curves. Big old leaner. You can see they done quite a bit of logging down here. You start seeing all these slash piles again. I didn't really want to walk through all this. Woo! That'll make your heart jump. Maybe if we get over here by the fence line, it'll be a little more cleared out, or not. It just seems to get thicker. I really don't want to walk through here. It's warm enough right now. I'm kind of worried about running into a snake. Yeah. I don't really need to walk down there. I know where that's at. I can just mark it on the map. Because I know it's down by the power line row, right by the clearing, which is a ways to walk from right here. That's actually the deepest part of his property. We're just kind of walking through here, checking out the back side of the property. he wanted me to find the other pin, and I did, so now I can actually walk back up this way. Let's see. Probably a little more clear if I go on the other side of this log right here that's down. Get on the other side of that and walk up towards the front. I don't feel like walking through a bunch of brush. You can see over there, there's a bunch of brush to have to go through. Look at this moss. Isn't that beautiful? Green velvet. Oh. I guess I'm just going to walk kind of this direction. Even though I know there's probably slash piles up here I'm going to have to navigate through. Oh man, look at this. Look at that view. That would not be a bad view right there if you had a 2-story house built right up in here. Clear out a little bit of those trees there, open that view up. I can hear the neighbor's generator off over in the distance. That's a cool little V tree. They left a big log right over here. Let's go look at that. Look at this one. It's got a big heart check in it. Right in the end. Some fungus growing in it. But honestly, that was probably another 8-foot section right there of decent saw log. And this right here, that was part of it. Looks like that they cut off. Looks like they actually probably grabbed a hold of it with the skidder and moved it, and then it just said the heck with it and left it. Yeah, that's the base of it right there. Oh, do you see that lightning? I don't know if I had that camera quite pointed over there, but I just seen lightning. All right, let's head on back towards camp. See what else we find. There's a little logging trail right here. You can see the tire tracks where they come down through here, where they were skidding logs out. Right up through there. Trying to see if there's anything interesting that I want to go check out from this point. I think we're just going to walk on up this way. Kind of navigate our way up through here. Back towards the camp. Just waiting for that storm to come in. Look at this. Squirrel's been up here. Here's a little logging road. You can see the dips and ditches or whatever. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's beautiful. We got 39% battery, guys, so I'm gonna have to be heading back towards camp, which is somewhere in that direction. This little logging trail kind of looks like it cuts and goes that way, kind of zigzags, I guess. Let's go on and mosey this direction a little bit. I didn't bring no snake boots. Oh Oh wait, I don't even own snake boots. I'm wearing kind of like tennis shoes. Not terrible, just you gotta watch out for snakes, which I haven't been doing a very good job of. I just seen something move right here. I don't know what it was. Something scattered off. I'm just walking through Crazy Ed's Homestead. This is a nice little area too. He's got enough acreage here that he could put several cabins out here to rent out or lease out. The only problem is he ain't got really the logs to do it. But look at that. I almost got turned around here because right up there's camp. I was trying to head this way to go to camp. So yeah, I got turned around. I can see my pickup and everything over this direction. Oh. All right, so back that direction is the back of the property. That over there's aiming towards the power line road down there. And then this direction is camp, which camp is actually just like right there. And right over here is actually where he's going to be putting the trailer. Look at this skidder trail right here. Well, they got some pretty good ruts right here. They drug this log to right here and left it. I guess they got stuck. I would imagine they probably got stuck, and then they dropped their logs and headed out. Obviously pretty deep right there. So when it starts raining, getting up in here with the pickup is probably not going to be an easy thing. All right, look at this. So right there's the camp. You can see the mountains and everything over there. So this right here, I'm gonna have to look at the map and see. I'm pretty sure I'm on his property right now. I'm gonna have to go find the other pin so I can decipher a straight line or not. So I'm gonna have to walk up to the road and find that other marker. When I mark that, I'll actually know. I'll get 3 markers and I know where the other one's at. It's just down at the corner at that clearing. So anyways, I'm pretty sure that mound right there is actually on his property. It's just kind of barely on it. But this right here, this little spot right here, I don't know if you can kind of see the mountain tree line up there. So if you came through and thinned out these trees right here and opened that view up, that'd be pretty cool. We definitely got a storm coming in, so I need to get moving. I don't want to be real far away from the pickup when it starts hammering down rain, and we know it's going to happen. So we head back down towards camp here. Yeah, I didn't want to walk through all that. I can hear the thunder coming in. Thing's still smoldering. So right here's where he's actually going to put his camper trailer. And I think that's a stump right there. It's still burning. Yeah. Well, it'll go out when it gets rained on, I guess. I kind of need to know that he got his camper. If he got his camper, I'm going to take some of this stuff back home with me because he won't need it. It'll just be out here for no real reason. So, yeah. Yeah, here comes the clouds. Look at that. So like the camp shower thing and the toilet house thing, or little privacy tent, whatever you want to call it, little pop-up tent, I'll probably take that back home. This tent right here I'm going to leave here for him, because I don't care for it too much. It's old. I've had it for a lot of years, and yeah, it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna leave that here for him so he can get the rest of the use out of it, because if I keep it, I'll have it for years and years and years, and it just ain't very good. So I'll end up buying a new one eventually. All right, so I gotta walk up this way and find his other marker pin, which is, I guess I was probably on his property, because this is up here quite a ways to this pin. This is what I had to do with my property. I had to walk it all. I had to find the pins, the markers, which mine wasn't recently marked. Mine was just steel pins. They used old axles back in the day, old axle shafts. All right, so here's his marker right here. I'll come up by it and mark it on my map. I'm going to check this and make sure. All right, they marked it out. So anyways, so we've got his first marker back there marked. Now I need to zoom in on this so I get it more precise. All right, now I can walk down to the other end of the road. That's where his other pin is. The third pin that I know where it's at. I've actually seen it. And so I'll go to that one. I'll mark it on the map, and I'll basically have my triangle. You can see here, I don't know what that one is, but this one is a marker pin. That's a marker pin. I'm walking down the road right now. I go to the other one, and then right down here is going to be the other one. Oh, come on. Well, come on. Dadgummit. There we go. I'll just click save. Done. All right. And then the other lot is actually on this side also. So we'll walk down here to the other pin, and that'll give us our markers to where we can walk anywhere on his property and look at it and see that we're within the boundaries or whatever. That's basically what he needs to do on his phone, is walk it and drop pins like that, mark them, and it'll give him a really good idea where his property is, so he can walk anywhere on his property, and he can basically imagine a straight line between those pins and know if he's on his property or not. So I can see down here, way down this road, is his other pin. So all of this right here, from that marker up there, all of this right up, butted up to the road, is his property. $10 acres is pretty decent size. The property I live on is actually just 2 acres, a little over 2 acres. I don't know exactly how much. It's 2 point something. So a little over 2 acres, which is pretty decent size, but I can only use like half of it. Most of it's a really steep hill. So My allergies are starting to act up. Not cool. All right, here's the other marker. I'll get right here by it. Got a deer track. Little doe come in here, left a deer track. All right, see, this is what they do now. They got these little steel pins like that. We'll just stand right here by it. I'll zoom in on my location, which I just realized that this actually shows stuff on here that, so I'm gonna have to blur that out so you guys can't see that. Don't have very good service right here. It's searching. I don't know why it's got to do that. I just want to save it. Okay. All right, so I'm trying to look at this and make sure there's no information on here that's going to like give away where his property is, okay? Actually, I need to rename that one. Dang it. Okay. All right, so this right here kind of gives like your basic layout of how his property is shaped. It goes from right here to up there to over here, and the road, it goes right here. He owns all of that right there. Hope that's in view for you guys. But yeah, so there's his pins. I just walked his property. Got a nice little valley right in here. So he wanted me to go find the pins and everything, so I figured why not make a video that I can put up there so he can look at it, or he'll probably just have to walk it and do that right there on Google Maps, mark it out. So I hope I didn't show any information on here that would actually give away where his property is. He kind of wants to keep that, you know, where only certain people like know about it, right? And I understand that. So anyways, we'll walk back up the hill here. I'm getting my exercise today. I'm telling you what, been getting it all day today. Look at this. Here's another tree. Looked like a pretty decent one. They did a plunge cut right here. I mean, you didn't even need to do a plunge cut into that tree. You can see right here that's going to be rotten. And so this tree would have needed to be cut probably right about here. And from there on up, it's going to be solid. It's just the bottom of it's going to be hollow. But yeah, must be a newbie sawyer or logger, not sawyer, a logger, that just decided he's going to plunge cut a tree when you can tell it had hollow in it from looking at the base of it. But I mean, I guess you got to learn that somehow, right? That tree will end up being dead because of that, but oh well. All right, guys, so that's what I got done today. The stump here is knocked down considerably, so you can drive over it now. Got a lot of firewood stacked up. Got a storm rolling in. Guys, I'm getting hungry, so I'm gonna have to go heat something up for me to eat. Probably just a can of chicken breast meat or something like that. I don't know. I'll find something. I had plain old corned beef hash this morning for breakfast. It wasn't bad, but yeah. it could have been better. Don't eat that stuff plain. Put some eggs and some spices or something with it, because yeah, it wasn't the greatest, I'm telling you. But it wasn't bad. I wouldn't want to eat it by itself again, really. But ooh, yeah, see, I need to get started heating something up. So we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Smash that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you later. Bye.